Hello, my name is Andrew Abraham, and I work with my family with BH Properties in the niche of social housing in Manchester. I graduated the University of Florida with honors. I've been investing in real estate since the 1990s in the US. I've done all types of real estate investing, everything from building single-family homes for social housing, doing land deals, warehouses, blocks of flats, just various types of real estate investing. I stopped in January of 2006 because I felt that the market was overheating and I just couldn't understand how anyone could really afford to live or purchase properties. So I stopped, and I saved myself and my colleagues a tremendous amount of pain and money, and I started focusing on other investments. Several years ago, I started investigating various markets in Europe because I'm addicted to real estate. I love investing in real estate. And I looked at various countries, and none of them actually ticked the boxes like Manchester did. And Manchester is very interesting for me. I'm chuckling as I say this. It's Tony Blair is a big investor in Manchester, and I'm almost thinking he must know things that I didn't know. The BBC has built Media City and invested billions of pounds there. There's a housing shortage. I think even more importantly, what attracted me most to Manchester was prices are affordable. They're not affordable in London, and that they haven't surpassed the 2008 peak. And the other very interesting point about Manchester and investing there is there's a train that's going to be a high-speed train that's going to be a 1-hour train ride from London, which either two things are going to happen. Manchester prices are going to go up, and London prices might go down because an hour commute really isn't that big of a deal. We focus on social housing. And social housing, just give you a quick definition of it, it's giving housing to people that have needs. And social housing is funded by local councils and the Home Office, which is the best type of investment. What you do is when you work with the government. We specialize in two specific areas. One is that we do conversion projects, and the other was take terraced homes and we convert them into HMOs, and then we rent them by the room. We refurbish them to a very high standard and quality, and more so we give these people dignity and pride of where they live. We maximize our investment for ourselves and our investors by renting by the room. The agency that deals the social housing actually pays to furnish these HMOs with brand new furniture and household goods. We don't even have to pay for that, which also increases our yield and our return. We focus also on social housing. The first reason is it's a great business model, but that's not the whole picture. The other picture is it's a way of giving back to society, and we're proud of this. We're proud to give people dignity. What makes a good property? What makes it an interesting property? That's a good question, and it's a very difficult question to answer because to find a suitable property that adheres to the standards and the checklist of the council and the government is very difficult. And because it's difficult, we have a department in our organization of professionals that have been sourcing properties for years. More so, what makes a good property, obviously, because you're listening to this, because you're looking or potentially looking to partner with us and CrowdLords as an investor, is we buy them under value. We buy them below market value, which increases our profitability and your profitability. Why is social housing better than a normal tenant or an LHA or a working tenant? Well, first of all, there's one major reason. We're on a guaranteed contract, depending who it's with. It's either your council could be 3 years, or if it's through the agency with the Home Office, it could be 5 years. This doesn't exist elsewhere. It's a very specific niche, and it also gives high yield. The advantage why it's better, we don't have voids. The day we put the property on the platform, it's cash flowing. That means immediately you're making money. You're not waiting to tenant the property. More so, many real estate deals fail because of bad management. We don't have to manage the property. The Home Office and the councils, they're managing the property. More so, there's virtually no maintenance on our behalf. The properties have up to £5,000 per year maintenance covered that we don't have to pay for. That puts more money in your pocket and our pocket. Last year, we did about 17 properties. We're in the process. Let's say if I say now it's the end of December, we had 17. Let's say that we started, some are finished, some are in a pipeline, some are tenanted, but there's about 17 of them. And it's a little bit below my abilities, but the fact is I wanted to build up my team. My team includes architects, builders, the solicitor, accountants, local partners, and we're hitting our goal. And really the goal for next year is we want to have 100 properties. And what we're really doing is seeking like-minded investors who want a better return on their money than just putting it in the bank. And who says we even trust banks anymore? I mean, Northern Rock blew up, and people stood outside waiting to get their money. I mean, here we're investing in brick and mortar, and we have insurance on the properties also. My team includes, as I stipulated a minute ago, I have an amazing architect. He came out of a firm. He's a young guy, very hungry, very, very intelligent. He's absolutely wonderful, and I'm proud that he's taken us on as a client. The builders, we use several builders, groups of builders. One in particular is a father and son company, and then they outsource all the specific niches, if it's joiners or if it's plumbers or electricians or you name it, roofers. But the father and son, they're amazing and hardworking, honorable, honest, and there for us, and we're there for them. Our solicitor is American. She's wonderful, like-minded like me, very hungry, very aggressive, and we couldn't do what we do without her. And the same thing also with our accountant. Why crowdfunding? The world's changing. There's no more that you just go to a bank and have to jump through all their hoops and all their bureaucracy. Crowdfunding's easier than a bank, and it levels the playing field, and it's like it enables the world to be global. Like with some of our properties, we've had Middle Eastern investors buy them, not just English investors. The world's changing. It enables change, crowdfunding. It's flexible. And I really believe very strongly it's going to be the wave of the future, and that's why we're getting involved in it. Then the next question obviously comes, why CrowdLords? We did a research, and I found the people at CrowdLords to be very responsive, bright, professional, easy to speak to, honorable, and able to mastermind with us to come to ideas that work to everyone's benefit. And they're as hungry as we are, and they're committed to grow. The other very important question is, why are our properties or our social housing properties appropriate? I already alluded to them, why they're appropriate to be put on crowdfunding, because they're very unique. You're not going to find them on anyone else's, or at least I'll say this, I haven't seen them on any other crowdfunding website. They're unique in the fact that they have these guaranteed contracts with the government, and the government will fulfill those contracts. We don't have voids. We don't have to manage the properties. And also a lot on the other crowdfunding sites, they promise you things that don't really take into account how expensive voids can be. Voids eat into your profit. And the same thing with maintenance and management. So the other issue is why they're appropriate. We buy them under market. We don't do new builds. We feel new builds are very, very risky. We saw all these different cycles repeatedly that you have all these investors go for the new, beautiful new builds, and those prices crash. We're not dealing in the sexy houses. We're dealing in terraced houses that have been here 100 years. And you know what? They're going to be here another 100 years, as my colleagues say. My colleagues have been in the Manchester area. They grew up in the Manchester area. I have two sets of local colleagues. One set are two brothers. They own 50 houses. The other set of colleagues have been investing since 2007. They saw the crash. They lived through the crash. They saw the resuscitation. And they specialize in buying below market deals in the greater Manchester area. What do I see is changes in the private sector now with, let's say, buy-to-let mortgages and everything. It's changing, and it's changing very, very rapidly. And with the new stamp duty that's coming in April, it's going to change even more so. What I believe, and again, just my opinion, there's going to be larger landlords, and that's why I'm also putting myself out here on crowdfunding site CrowdLords in order to find more investors, loyal investors that want to grow with us, that don't want the headaches of trying to manage their own properties and go through all the hassles with tenants, especially our niche. And I think that it's going to be more and more professional organizations, and we've built an organization. So this is what I see as changing, and all these changes I feel are going to be very, very positive towards crowdfunding, and especially CrowdLords. How crowdfunding will change the property, in general. And really what's in it for you as the investor. It's a new avenue investing. I mean, you have your choices. You can invest in the stock market and all the volatility with that. I mean, just go back a couple of years, 2008, 50% down. That's not too comforting. Bond market wasn't safe. There was no way to make money. Even last year, there were articles that I read, or this year, let's say 2015, they said that all the traditional diversification didn't make money. Stock market didn't make money. Bonds didn't make money. Well, I'll tell you this. We made money in our niche, our social housing niche, dealing with the home office, the local councils. And you know what else is really cool? We better people's lives at the same time. So going back to the crowdfunding, what's in it for you? You get to hedge your risks. It enables you to invest in a portfolio of properties if you so desire. You don't have to just put all your money into one property. And you align your interests with people that are like-minded. And like for us, why are we involved in crowdfunding is we're looking for prospective loyal partners to grow. As I stipulated before, we'd like to do 100 properties next year. We have a choice. We can go through the banks and go through hoops and all this other stuff and their bureaucracy, or I can find people that think the way we think, people that understand what we do, that can make a decision very quickly and grow with us. So first of all, I want to thank you for the time just that you're sharing with me. If I'm available for any of your questions, or if CrowdLords is available for any of your questions, we're here to help you. We're in this together. We're looking out for our mutual growth. And again, I just want to thank you. And remember one more thing. Besides this is a great business model, you're also giving back to society. And this is what it's all about, is making a difference in people's lives that aren't as fortunate as us. Thank you. Again, this is Andy Abraham, and our company is BH Properties. Thank you.